Oh, it's
Yeah,
working.
there we go. Okay.
I get no error.
See, it's recording. Yeah, it's recording now. Yeah, she's got it. Because you started the meeting, which I think we just have to do because
Yeah.
I can't log into Zoom through my computer, which is weird.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually, but
Yeah, true.
been a process. I can like get on a call if someone else sends it to me, but I can't start one, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah.
Yeah, same with me.
Interesting.
Never tried to start one. I don't know if I could or not, but
but at least as long as you get invited, then it's fine, right? So
yeah. So far,
for the team calls and everything. Okay.
All right.
get the better lighting.
Mia, do you want to make the introduction? You're better.
The introduction. So hello. Hi everyone. Steph, for you, this is just something that we kind of came up with when we were talking, like just us. And we were like, oh, we should really like film a Zoom call with like some people from the team or like some people we know through Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, it could be kind of like a podcast style thing. And then we're like, that's actually a really good idea. And so here we are.
Yay, I love it.
But yeah, so basically this is just for people we know through Instagram or the team or such to tell their stories. We will ask you some fun questions, get into a really good conversation. I'm so bummed that we lost the last one because it was so much fun and we got into some really good topics, but we're going to refilm that next week.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, basically how we're going to start this is just introduce yourself, tell your story, kind of how you got into fitness, etc., and whatever else you want to say.
Okay. So, do I go? Okay. My name is Steph. Is it going? Because first of all, it keeps like freezing. So like I'll see your face and then it like stops, and then I think you're talking, but it's just you're frozen. So if I look like I'm not sure what's happening, it's because
okay.
So anyway, might be on my end. But anyway, so my name is Stephanie. I like to go by Steph. And so I got into fitness a long time ago, I guess. I grew up very fit and doing sports and things like that. Very fit. And then, I mean, I know Joanna knows, eating disorder from when I was 10, 11 until I was 14. I did get treatment, got better, went on with my life, graduated high school, started college. And my college degree is exercise physiology. So for that, I had to take a lot of fitness classes. I had to take a lot of just like random, like tennis, weightlifting, volleyball, soccer, running. I had just like all these random stuff to get credits, as well as learning the exercise physiology science aspect of stuff. But during that time, I sort of got lax with, I don't know, my recovery game and food, and I just kind of just got so busy, and I was doing sports constantly, and so I started losing weight again, and that kind of brought me back down to a not great place, and I full on relapsed, and then took a year off of training at all and working out at all. I had been a runner, like I had done 2 half marathons, which counts as a full marathon, right? That means I've done a marathon, right? Okay, so that's what I tell myself. Like, you're gonna run a marathon? I'm like, nah, I've already run a marathon. I did 2 halves. That's enough. And so then after taking some good time off of working out at all, just to gain some weight back and just mentally take a break from it, I had been following Lexi for quite a while, and then Melinda, and just I really wanted, I wanted to have a good relationship with my body and food and exercise, but again, I wanted to make sure I was at a good place mentally. And I was like, people are like, oh, well, once you've had a past of an eating disorder, you can never, get to that place again. I was like, no, we're gonna prove that wrong. We can do that. And it's kind of just because the person that I am is I'm very much like, I like goals. I like to lay out, like I'm very like type 1, type A, whatever. Like I like to follow rules. I like to have a plan. I like schedules. So having like a goal, having a plan, having macros to follow, I know people are like, oh, that's really bad, which at a time it was good to like get away from that and just eat whatever. But I like that kind of schedule. I like having accountability. That's the main thing when I start with Lexi. I was like, I need accountability. I want like a schedule and a plan to follow because I thrive off of that. So that's how I got into it. I was like, I was kind of just getting to a point where I was like, I'm not staying accountable anymore. My workouts were fine. Like, well, when we had gyms, they were great and I was seeing progress. I just was losing the consistency with my food. Like I was starting, because I'm way past the eating disorder aspect now. So I was going out and getting donuts and I was enjoying all this stuff, which was just making me kind of feel like crap because I do have some digestion issues. So it was just, I was kind of feeling gross again because I wasn't being consistent with good food. And I kept like, well, I'll try to track I would track for like 2 days and then I'd be like, well, whatever, I'll start again tomorrow. And so that's why I reached out to Lexi and was like, hey, or I guess I kept seeing it. You know, she would say, oh, we're doing nutrition coaching. We're doing this. We can take clients. And I was like, yeah, no. And then it said like nutrition coaching. And I was like, oh, that's what I want. Cause I don't necessarily want I would love it, but I can't afford all of it. The training and the nutrition aspect. And since I have a degree in exercise physiology, like I know all this stuff and I do enjoy putting together my own workouts and things like that. So I was like, oh, then if she just does the nutrition side, then that'd be really helpful just to get her viewpoint on my body and everything and have a plan. And because I want to, you know, build muscle, get toned, all the fun stuff. But again, I'm not as experienced in that. So that's when I contacted her. We got together with that. And so having the accountability and just the macros to hit every day is really, it's really helping with just the consistency. And honestly, it's like, I don't know if this is good or bad, but like, since there's nothing else to do in quarantine, I kind of like having a plan for my food and having a plan for stuff, because otherwise I feel like I'd be eating all day or whatever, or not eating all day. I don't know. So it's been really helpful. And so that's what I've been wanting. That's how I got into it, was just unhealthy relationship, and then trying to balance out a healthy relationship. And just, that's who I am. Like I've always been a very athletic, like I've played every sport possible, I feel like, at one point or another. I really enjoy it. And I think it's good because then it's like I'm focusing on building the muscle, and it's not about being small. It's actually about being strong and what I can do and accomplish in my body. And I really enjoy that I can push can push a good amount of weight now, or hopefully I haven't lost that. But that was probably all over the place, but that's that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I can hear that.
I love that. And like, I don't know, I feel like I really relate to that because, you know, when you're in that sort of disordered mindset, you are like looking for something like a grasp on a plan and something to kind of like latch onto, to where you have to stick to that schedule and you have to be organized. And I think that's something a lot of people in fitness can really relate to, is just like having a plan helps in so many ways. And people can think that's disordered, but in reality, it really gets you on track to where you have to stick to this. And it's like, oh, okay, like I can venture off the path, but I always have somewhere to come back to. And that's something that I know really helped me. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. I agree on that. Also, I think like many people who are complaining about or like saying, or you're kind of getting too obsessive with something, or you're too structured or anything, those are the people that probably are just jealous of your process, of your progress, of just the work you put into something. So I know for me, like I'm like, as you said, I'm also like very goal driven, and I just like to have a plan. And for example, people are just asking me like, why, how do you manage to study that much, or why do you get up that early to like study and then train and whatever? And it's just like, I love to do that. So it's just, it's for me, it's just easy, and it's not something I force myself to do. So the people that are complaining usually are jealous, which is sad. But yeah, as you said, like accountability and just having a plan, especially like with regards to health and fitness, is just so important. And many people just don't get it, or just don't want to get it, probably.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I feel, definitely. I've realized that when people are lashing out like that, it's because they themselves are in a bad place and they're just projecting their insecurities on me, or they're jealous and they wish they could do that, but they know that they are not in a good place. So they're going to try to bring me down and make them feel better. So I try to ignore them. But it's hard, especially with the YouTube channel. I haven't done it in a while, but it's just, I got some really mean comments, and it hurts. Like, you know, people like, oh, brush it off. Those aren't you know, those are people that are hiding behind, you know, anonymous or whatever, but it's like, don't let them bother you. You know, they're not even like, just don't. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I'm human and it does hurt. And so it discourages me, but I really want to, I don't know. I wish it wasn't so like black and white, or like either people are on one end of the spectrum where they're like, you know, so completely, I don't know, in their eating disorder. What I'm trying to say, it's either people have the, you know, you love your body. It's extreme. I feel like it's extreme. It's either you're thin, you're in the recovery community, or there's the opposite, which is like, oh, I'm obese and I love my body and it's amazing. Let's body acceptance. It's like, yeah, but you want to be healthy too. And it's like, can we not balance it out? It's like either you're healthy or you're not. It's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm going all over the place, but
I think
I get exactly where you're going from, because I literally actually just wrote an essay on this for my class, on how like the reasons I don't agree with body positivity, and like people are going to come at me for that, but and I shouldn't say body positivity, health at every size would be a more accurate description of that. But yeah, I think that it really is like you're either on one end of the spectrum or the other. The pendulum swings either way, and the people in the middle kind of get overlooked or shamed because they're striving for health and to look healthy or whatnot, or any manipulation of your body composition is inherently a bad thing to either of those communities. And it's like, no, this is actually something that's really therapeutic for some people. So I totally get what you're going to say with that.
It's like, yeah, they're like, well, why are you just doing it for looks? You're just doing it for looks. I'm like, yes and no. Like, I want to look good. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. Why do you put on makeup every morning? Because you want your face to look decent. Like, I want my body to that. Also, I want it to be healthy. I want it to be strong. I don't want to be like winded when I go up the stairs. I want to be able to lift things. I work at a recreation facility. I have to move equipment. I want to be able to do that without dying. Like, I used to be people like, all right, we need to go set up a room or something. Oh, and they look at who was working. Oh, let's pick so-and-so and so-and-so, and Steph, you just stay and watch the desk. Because they knew that I was a scrawny little girl that couldn't do it. Whereas now, like, all right, Steph, let's go set up the event hall. I'm like, I got this. I can do it myself. And so just to be healthy and like happy, it's just, I don't know. I did have a comment that the other day. I was just like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to build muscle and wanting to look that way. And also what comes with that is just being able to function strong and healthily. So yeah, it's just people are like this way or this way. And in the middle is you're all messed up, and there's the whole fitness community. It's, I don't know. But I've been in both. I've been in the fitness community and I've been in the eating disorder community, or the eating disorder recovery community. But, and I will say the fitness community is way more encouraging, because I almost feel like in the other one, it's kind of it's a battle at who is, you know, the worst, or who's the best at being the worst. And it's a lot of comparing going on in a not healthy way. Whereas in the fitness community, it's like that you compare, but you also are encouraging each other. Like, you know, if you're going through something, or they're having a bad day, or I don't know, it's a way more encouraging in a good way. So anyway, I really wish that people could understand there's a balance, and you can go from having a really bad, deadly disease to actually having a really great relationship and working out. Like, you can work out. People are like, why are you working out? I'm like, why not? Like, what is wrong with that?
Good for your body.
Yeah, that's so annoying. Like, just people who, I mean, we all have identities like outside of eating disorders. Eating disorders are an illness that like happen to a lot of women, sadly. But I mean, we have some identity beforehand, so we still have our identity during the eating disorder, and it just comes back afterwards. And what we want to do with our life and like everything, and staying healthy in general, is just something that should be there for everyone. And we shouldn't be forced to justify ourselves for that. So if someone wants to eat a salad at a restaurant, because like, even if he or she isn't tracking macros, but he just knows that, okay, I need to lose a few pounds, whatever, I take the salad. Or the chicken instead of like whatever, just like the healthier option. And then if someone like this, if it can be the same person, the next day he wants to have fries, so he has the fries. So it's all about the balance, and that in both cases he probably needs to justify his actions. For me, this is so annoying. I hate justifying myself, and I have so many people, like just in everyday life, you meet so many people who are always asking like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I was like, why do you care? Like,
exactly. Why do you care? Focus on yourself. Like, be selfish. Yeah, I'm the same way. Well, with me, it's like I start justifying before I even, like, I'm doing something like, well, this is why. This is why. And my brother-in-law, well, my sister's fiance, he's not my brother-in-law yet, but basically he is, and he lives with us and the baby. He's just like, Stephanie, it's okay. You don't have to tell me why you're doing that. Like, I don't care. Like, that sounds bad, but I don't care. You do you. You don't have to justify it. I'm like, okay, but let me tell you anyway. I justify everything, which I need to stop. But yeah, if I get like a Diet Coke, or I get something that's, you know, on the lighter side or healthier, I have to be like, well, I don't know why. I feel like I have to justify why, because otherwise people are going to think that I'm relapsing, or they're going to think that I'm having an issue. I'm like, no, I just wanted this, or, you know, it's okay to, I am tracking macros, so I needed this, whereas I had a bunch of almond butter and fat early. Like, so there I go again, justifying it. It's like, nope, this is me, this is my journey, this is my fitness, whatever, leave me alone.
Yeah,
I need to do better at that. But I'm a people pleaser, I guess, or I that's something I'm trying to work on with my mindset stuff and everything's just like not being so focused on other people's opinions of me, and not living for them, basically, like not basing my actions off of what other people think, and wanting their approval, because it's like I don't need their approval. It's nice to have approval. I'm a human. I like people to like what I'm doing. You know, you don't want to clash with everybody, but again, you don't need their permission or their approval to do what you need to do and live your best life. So I'm working on that with Lexi.
Me too.
It's kind of hard.
Like it's just so annoying. You always want to like have others agreeing on your actions.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like you said, like recovery issues, like when I was visiting my family, like for the past few months, whenever, I was always justifying my actions. I was always like, you know, like I eat enough, I track macros, I know what I eat, I have a coach, blah, 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 blah. And my mother, like honestly, she isn't even like, she's such like, Johanna, I know you're okay. I know, like I always knew when you were relaxing, and I always knew when you were good. And just like something she knows, so I don't even have to tell her everything. And then Lexi's just like, Johanna, you need to stop justifying your actions. Even sometimes in the check-ins, I'm just writing like a whole paragraph why I did this and that.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
I know. That's something I've done before. I've like gone on and on and on, and then I'm like, she didn't need to know that. And I like delete half of it. Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
I've done that. It's something that I think really stems back from like, you know, when you're recovering from an eating disorder and people are telling you like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You always feel like you have to justify it, and you always like it, you're just conditioned to. So when you're way past that, and like Steph, I know you've talked a lot about trying to distance yourself from that recovery community, which I 100% identify with. Like it's hard to do sometimes because people have that preconceived notion of you. I mean, I know a lot of the people who are newer to my page personally see me solely as, oh, she's a bikini competitor or an aspiring bikini competitor, whatever, and she's never had an eating disorder or issues with food, but people who've been following me for a long time see me doing a cut now, and they're like, holy crap, she's relapsing. Yeah. It's like, no, absolutely not. It's, I'm so distanced from that, but it's still a part of my past. It's like something that I share to be relatable to people and to say, hey, you can do this too. But at the same time, it's kind of being caught in that paradox of you don't want to have to justify what you're doing now because of who you were in the past.
Yeah. Sense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally feel that for you.
Okay, so just because I don't know as much about you, because I'm new,
yeah.
But did you? So I know you are an aspiring bikini competitor. Did you used to have an eating disorder?
Yes, I did. I struggled with anorexia and orthorexia for about 2 years in high school.
Okay.
So that was like a year and a half ago. I guess a year ago, or a year and a couple months ago, I would say I was recovered from that. Okay. But yeah, no, I did for a little bit, and then very quickly snapped myself out of it. I'm a type 6. And so basically I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Like, get out of this. And I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So.
That's basically what I had to ask myself too. It's just like, what am I doing and why are you doing it? Like, and like, oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. So like I live with, you know, little baby now. And like, I'm just looking at her and I'm like, I want one so bad someday. And if I continued, you know, because like, and I was telling Lexi and I think the team, like just like being in isolation, like, you know, sometimes struggling brings back like, oh, I could do this behavior. Oh, I could just not, like, just kind of remembering the past. And even when I was fully working on recovery a year or so ago, or 2 years ago, when I was, my thought was like, my main thing was like, I want kids someday, which means that I need to take care of my body now, because I don't have a period. I didn't have a period at that point, and I can never have kids if I don't have a period, which means I need to eat so I can get enough fat so my body works, and I have to continue this so that it continues to do that, so I can have. So like, what do I want more? Do I want this temporary feeling of I never felt good anyway. Like, I don't even know why it was amazing. It was just like I was stuck. Do I want to feel this way forever and get some satisfaction in looking thin, or do I want a family? Do I want a baby? Do I want to get married? And it's like, which one weighs more, or like which one, you know, wins? And so like I just kept going on to like, I want a family, I want a child. That was the main one, was like, I just want a family someday, and I want to be healthy enough to have a family. And so then now living with Colette, like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. I'm like, I'm so attached to her. She's not even mine, but like I live with her. Like I take shifts at nighttime, and I get up with her and I hold her, I sleep with her, so that Emily, my sister, her mom, can sleep in between feedings. And I'm just like, she has me wrapped around. Emily was like, Stephanie, she has you wrapped around her finger. I was like, oh, she has me wrapped around my finger and over the finger and under and the knots. Like she has me. I'll do whatever she wants. Like she's just, and I am biased because like she's part of my blood or whatever, but like she is freaking adorable. Like some babies are ugly. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, there are some that you're just like, I know you'll get cute, but right now you look like a potato blob. Like, actually she's cute and she has a little personality. Like she does the cutest little like one-eyed stink face. It's so cute. Anyway, it's just every day that I look at her, I'm just like, someday I want to be a mom, and I have to continue being healthy and doing the right thing right now to get to that point. So it's a huge motivator for me now, just having a baby in the house, because it's like, I want one that's mine. Because when I move out for nursing school, which when they get married, I'm going to move out to live with my parents again while I go to nursing school, and so they can have, she and her husband can have the apartment. And I'm like, I'm going to be crushed, because I've gone from living with her 24/7 to maybe seeing her a few times a week. It's like, oh, so if y'all don't see me for a month, it's because I've gone into depression because I'm Colette. So anyway. Oh man. With that, but yeah, that's a big motivator. It's just like, what do you want in life, and is it worth sacrificing that for your eating disorder or whatever? No.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
So
that was a very similar theme. Like my parents threatened. I've always wanted to go to school in Wisconsin. That's like my home. And during like when I was going into my senior year, my parents are like, if we don't get this under control, like you're not going to school. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting it under control. Like I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I think that it's like, sometimes it takes something to really snap people out of it. But once you do, you're like, why? Like literally, why, dude? Like, I
know.
kind of a thing.
When you're in it, you can't see it. And also it physically has to do with your brain chemistry, you know, because you're so much underweight, you don't have stuff and hormones, everything's out of whack. But when you're in it, it's like, it's like when you're in it, you're blind, and then when you're out of it, you're just like, why? That's why people that don't, you know, haven't struggled with it and don't relate that way are just kind of like, what is wrong with you? And they can't understand, which I'm like, is a valid viewpoint, because it's stupid and there's no reason why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. I don't know why. Like, it's hard for them to understand. So then that's why I want to be able to help. And that's why I use my YouTube channel, just to help other people. Cause I'm like, I've been through this. I know what it's like. Cause when I was in treatment, I had a therapist, and he was a very, very large man. Like he was huge. So he never struggled with this type of stuff. And I was like he was awesome. I really liked him, but he couldn't relate on that personal level. So it was just some things, it just didn't quite fit. But like, anyway, I want to, so that other people can understand that like you can come out of it and you can go on to have a great, like if you want to go on and be a bikini competitor after having an eating disorder, you can do that. Like I think a lot of people think, oh, that is just another extreme. You've gone from one extreme to another and you're never going to have a healthy relationship. It's just another sport that some people love doing it. If that's what they want to do, let them.
I gained 40 pounds before I even thought about it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's, yeah, it's just people have a skewed mentality, and I really want people to understand that you can have a great, and like we're all examples of that. Like you can, I mean, it's not that you're never gonna maybe struggle sometimes or reach out and need help, because I do reach out and need help, but it's definitely not something that has to define you and that, you know, is going to ruin your life. Like I can never again do this stuff because of my past 5 years ago, 8 years ago. It's like, no, absolutely not. You can change it. So
yeah. It's something that you just, it will always be part of you, and just the whole, I mean, we also learned a lot of it, right? I wouldn't say like I wouldn't be who I am today without my past and my eating disorder, which was also part of why I was mentally probably like more, I only know the German word, like more grown up than many others of my age.
Sure.
It was like, yeah, mature, right? Yeah, that's good. When I was like 16, 17, everyone was like, why do you speak like that? And I was just like, you know, I think it's just because I needed to reflect so much. So this is something I think that there is an advantage of that. And then like with the whole part of sports and everything, it just, you really have to find what you like to do and just what you want to do with your life, because it's not going to bring you back to your eating disorder as long as you don't let it. And I think that's really important, because a lot of people say you don't have control over it, and it's not true. Like at some point you lose the control. I like, for me at least, I had like complete tunnel vision. I couldn't like, I was just like, and I knew that it was destroying myself, right? But I just didn't want to stop it.
Yeah.
And once you get out of that, you actually, once you get this control, you always have it. And this is what like brings you through recovery. And it's also what avoids relapsing at just like any point of your life. I mean, there are women who relapse at like 50 or whatever. And this is really, really sad. But as you said, I think it's always good to know that, and to know that you can always reach out to others, like professionals or even just friends or whatever, whoever, just because you know your past. And it doesn't mean that you cannot live the life you want to live, because it's not part of your brain anymore. Just, I know for me, like 1 year ago even, I wouldn't have thought that I would have, like, I just don't have these thoughts around food and anything. I just don't have them anymore. They're just completely out of my mind. And it's just, I didn't know that was even possible, right? And I just kept going, and then it just happened. And I don't know, it's just amazing to experience that. And I think, like you said, Steph, it's good that we all like bring this example out to the people, like to the world, because people have like really strange opinions on eating disorders, which is sad. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Long rant by me.
No,
sorry.
Totally get it and relate to it.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Also, like competing, it's just, I'm always like, someone actually told me, like, you shouldn't be doing bodybuilding, you shouldn't be considering competing, you shouldn't be blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why? And then I was like, it nevertheless threw me off. I was really, really sad. And then I talked to Lexi about it. She was like, Johanna, you know that there are people out there who had an eater who are competing in the sport because it's their sport. I mean, Lexi is like the prime example. She is like,
she freaking kills it. Like,
yeah. I know.
she never, after competing, a lot of people struggle with like disordered eating. But I think those who had an eating disorder before and recovered are less likely to do so because they know how to deal with it. And that's like such a huge point, and it annoys me.
It annoys me too, and I've stayed awake at night because I would I don't know why I was having insomnia a few weeks ago, and it was reading through my phone at like 3 a.m. and then saw a mean comment, and like all night long I was thinking about it and like, I'm gonna respond to this, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, and like, so we had like an argument from like 4 a.m. to like 6 a.m. and it was just like, basically, yeah, people are like, you should never work out, like nothing to focus on your body, you should never do anything to focus on your body. It's like, so I never get to enjoy that again, I never get to compete in my sport. It's like, ugh. Anyway, I could go on and rant for so long but then I'm just like, I need to not, because then I get upset and that doesn't help me. And it just kind of, I guess, validates them. I feel like if I respond and get into the fight, then it's not really.
Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway.
Kind of switching gears, but not switching gears. I wanted to ask something because you brought this up, and I know that we both are all interested in the realm of like exercise science, exercise physiology. I just changed my major. Joanna, you have your degree in biochem, you have your degree in exercise physiology stuff. But have you ever experienced sort of like being looked down upon for either lifting or being a female who's interested in that sort of stuff? Sort of like the aspect of sports science and etc.
What do you mean looked down upon? Like, you're not
talking just being female in sort of a very male dominated high English dominated either like sport or field within like career stuff and such.
For me, I don't think I've been looked down upon. I think people have been surprised or kind of like, oh, okay. Or like, I get upset when people always like, oh, I thought you were a runner. You're just skinny and you're a girl. Like literally that drives me nuts. I'm like, no. Like there's like, oh, you're a runner, right? Or, oh, you're this, oh, you have the legs of a runner, and oh, you're thin like a runner. I'm like, I hate running. I was fine. I used to run. I did. But honestly, I'm not convinced that wasn't just an outlet for my eating disorder, because that was kind of during the relapse period. But I mean, and now I like, with this quarantine and the gyms not being open, I have gone on a few runs, and I do enjoy it, but like 3 miles, that's it. Like that's good. I don't need to go 13 miles. I've definitely been, people are just surprised by that, or they're surprised that I'm lifting what I am. I think in school, I don't think in school I was looked down upon at all, because there were several other girls that were also doing it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so not in school, but I've definitely just, people are surprised and they just get over it. I'm like, what about it? I lift, get over it. Or they think I'm doing like the little, like my mom is totally fine with it, but like she thinks that I do the cute little like HIIT cardio stuff that my sister does, like just the jumping up and down, the toning, and she's like, why are you wearing a long sleeve shirt? I'm like, Mom, I'm not doing cardio, I'm lifting heavy weights, and I want to make sure that this part of, like the other day she's like, why are you wearing a long sleeve shirt, Stephanie? Are you trying to sweat more to burn more calories? I was like, I got so mad. Then we talked down, we were fine, but I was like, no, because I don't look like Carolyn, who does, she does like a HIIT workout where she's just jumping and she gets so worked up, or she goes and runs for 13 miles because she is a runner. And I'm like, it's different, Mom. Like, I'm actually trying to keep part of my body warm because it was cool in here, and I'm not profusely sweating for doing just like upper body stuff. So, I don't, So I'd say no to the looking down upon, but just the assumptions that I get, and the surprise, and maybe doubt. But then I show them that I can by lifting heavy.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. I love that. And I think like, it's a funny story. The first time when I moved to school, one of my really like best guy friends now, the first time we ever lifted together, we did a push day. And I don't know what he was expecting, but we go over and he's like, okay, dumbbell bench. And I go and I pick up the 50s and he's like, what are you doing? So like, I think it like, people really do assume, they're like, oh, they're just going to like jump around with a band around their back. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Or the little 5 pounds. I'm like, no, honey. Yeah.
That's what my mother is always thinking. Like my mother and my sister also, because like sadly she's not into like fitness at all, but she's always like, I want to build muscle, Johanna. I have back pain, and I know like she's much taller than I am, so she grew a lot and she got a lot of back pain from that. So I always like, okay, Paula, I also had back pain. It's completely gone since I'm lifting. So you need to build some muscle to protect your, like, just like your bone structure and everything. And she's like, okay, I have 2 bands here. What can I do? And I'm like, yes, so we can try. And I actually, like, just to like get her to perform the movements and just like focus on the contraction. I mean, that's fine, like for the first weeks. And then I explained to her, like, if you need to lift, no, I can't do that. And that's such an issue, because like women also, like in the gym, you see women like just not wanting to go to, we also have a gym where there's like a separate room for women. And this room, yeah, and
we do too.
it has like the maximum dumbbell, now I need to convert it into pounds, it's like 20 pounds probably.
Oh gosh. No.
Like, and I'm like, oh,
No, not enough.
yeah, and there's nothing else, not even a barbell. So
no, we have a so I work at a rec, like a community city rec center. So there is a gym, but it's more than a gym. It's like an entire community center. There's coffee, there's basketball courts. Anyway, so that gym is not big enough to have a separate section. So we don't, like the one I work at is just all together. But I go to a different gym that is way bigger. It's called Fitness Connection, and it's huge. It's wonderful. But they do have a separate women's section. But I like it because when I first started working out, I was a little, when you first get into the gym, you're kind of like, oh gosh, people are going to stare at me. But in the women's section, they had all the range of dumbbells, and they actually had their own entire barbell and barbell set, and they had the main machines in there. So I didn't feel like it was, looked down upon or anything. It was just that when I got the tour, they was like, this is just for like the first timers or the moms or whoever, they're just a little bit less secure about their body. They don't have to have everyone watching them. I was like, oh, that's fair. And there's like a whole theater too. So there's a bunch more cardio equipment in the back with like this huge screen TV. So there's that. Although it literally plays the same 2 movies every single time I look in there. It's the same 2 movies, which I don't know.
Reason not to do cardio.
Yeah, exactly. No cardio.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a women's section.
Yeah. That's
sorry about yours.
Yeah.
That woman can lift way more than 20 pounds. I'm so sick of my 25. So when we were going into quarantine, or when I heard it was happening, it was nice because the first week of everything being shut down, I was still able to go into work because I was doing manager stuff. So I was able to actually use the gym. I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to worry about this because I'm just going to keep using our gym, and like nobody's in here. It was amazing. And then they shut it down completely and I wasn't allowed to come at all. I was like, well, crap. So the last day I asked my other boss, like, hey, so can I like take some equipment home? So I snuck home like some bands and a kettlebell, and at the time it was a 25-pound dumbbell, and that's it, because I was thinking I would use it for, I don't know what I was thinking, because like that's actually like the worst weight now that I think, because like it's too much for like arm stuff, single arm stuff, and it's not enough for like legs. So I was like, why did I get a 25 pounder? So now I'm like, ugh. So I've been trying to do stuff with 25 pounds on my arms, but it honestly, since I'm, it's still working on growing, 25 pounds is hard, like single, because I only brought 1 dumbbell, not 2, just one 25 pounder. So anyway, it's just, but I was kind of prepared. I have a 25-pound dumbbell and some kettlebell stuff, and I just pile it all in a backpack, and I thrust for my hip thrusts. But then my brother got like a mini barbell set when he was like 16, so like 8 years ago. He got this little set, and it only goes up to like 90 pounds, I think, but still that's something. So I've been going home twice a week now for the past few weeks to do at least legs. And oh my gosh, it felt so good. So to get under a barbell, it was very sore. So I'm so ready to get back. I just want a barbell. But every time I look online, it's like, oh, it'll come in June, or it's like $100 billion. I'm like, okay, never mind. So
yeah, I mean, my barbell, that it's also like not very heavy, so it's goes up to I think it's like 160 pounds or something.
That's something.
But that's something, right?
Awesome.
I was so happy. I saw it online and it was just like a special offer where you can like pay it in monthly rates.
Yeah, installments.
Yeah, and it was the only possibility for me to get this thing. And I was like, should I do this? And then like the news came out, like new government things, and I was like, okay, I will get it now.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing ever. And adjusting the weights is so hard. I have like the 2 mini dumbbells, but the problem with those is also like the way to adjust them for the arms. I actually went too heavy on my shoulders 2 weeks ago, so I had to cut back from shoulders because I had like the now I really don't know the word, but it's like Schleimbeutel, so like a little with water and everything, so it's got sore.
Okay.
It's like a little, yeah, so I don't know the word, but
I get it.
it was hurting, so I needed to cut back. But yeah, weights are an issue for us.
Did your stay-at-home order get extended?
Yes, it did. So we had another government thing today, and they basically just pushed up everything until mid-March, where they will talk again. But the only thing I already told Mia, they're going to reopen the zoos and the museum.
Yay!
And I'm like, amazing.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Life-changing.
Yeah.
Wait, so you said mid-March?
May.
Okay, I was like, wait, then you should be good. Mid-May, okay.
One year. No, mid-May. So yeah, we will see. But actually, they are considering like even like they have a plan, but they don't know whether or when they will put it into action. So they want to reopen also like the sport facilities, but it's the third step of this plan. So I have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah.
That's what ours is. Phases now. So like, what's today? So is today the last day of April?
Yeah, it is.
I never learned that song that has like the months with the days. No, like you go, it's like 31, 30, and you're like, I never learned that song. But so I was like, I don't know if there's 31 or 30 days in April, whatever. So tomorrow, May 1st, is actually phase 1 opening of America, whatever. So people are, I guess actually it's more up to the states. So in Texas, it's like so gyms are not open. I heard like, stay-at-home orders are not being renewed, so things are going to open up again. I was like, oh my gosh, the gym. And then my dad's like, nope, not the gym. Just like some parks and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, at least like the hair salons so I can get my eyebrows done. He's like, nope, not those either. I was like, well, then what is the point? Like, I just need to get my eyebrows done because they're like, oh, they're so bad. You can't tell obviously on camera, but like last night I was doing some maintenance and I just did like the middle so that I didn't have a unibrow, but then I was like, I started to look at like all this area and then I was like, no, I can't do it. Like there's just so much. I was like, this is gonna take 2 hours and it's gonna hurt and I'm not even gonna start, so I'm just gonna wait. Luckily they're blonde and white because I'm a redhead, my facial hair is light, but I'm so ready to go back. That might be a higher priority than the gym. I haven't decided yet to get my eyebrows redone and tinted. I don't know. I'm so ready.
You need to come here because like hair salons are open. Yeah. They reopened like 2 weeks ago. Like smaller shops and hair salons reopened.
Yeah, I think hair salons. That's why I heard that some salons were opening. And my dad was like, oh yeah, some salons are like to cut your hair, but not to do like up close facial stuff, which I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's a little bit more close. Yeah. But I mean, I don't care about my hair as much as my facial hair. Although I shaved today. I went so long, like years without shaving my lip, but my mom was like, honey, you need to shave your lip. You have a mustache. I was like, Mom! So I finally did it this quarantine. So very strange. I feel strange. But
when I was living in school, my roommate would do like my eyebrows and cut my hair. And I was like, this is great. This is amazing. I have my own beautician living with me. and now I have a botched eyebrow job because I did it myself, and my hair's pink, so we know how that went. But yeah.
Oh, but did you mean to do your hair that way?
Oh yeah, no, I just went crazy. I went like quarantine crazy, and I'm like pink.
Yeah. Hey, I think it looks good. That's better than my neighbor got a dog, and I'm like, you have 3 jobs. How are you going to, like, he got it. It's adorable. It's like a teacup dog, so it's only going to be like 3 pounds. Like, it's so cute. But he has, when in normal life, when quarantine's not happening, he has 3 jobs. I'm like, how are you going to look after a puppy when you're never home ever? So we'll see. But he's like, I was so bored, and it was like on sale, and so he just, because we had to go to work yesterday to try on some new uniforms, so we came in like shifts, and he walks up with this like little cage. I was like, well, what is that? He's like, oh, it's my new puppy. I was like, it's okay. I'll have fun with that. But yeah, people are, that's why I've said, thankfully I have Colette now, so yeah, I don't mind being at home because she's here, and she's a really generally happy, fine baby, because now that we figured out feeding and how to feed, because for a while she was falling asleep halfway through eating, and so then she was over hungry and exhausted at that point, and then she would just scream and not eat. So we're like, oh my gosh. Eric, which is the fiance, was like, our baby is broken. She is broken because all she does is cry. And they went to the pediatrician. He's like, no, she's just over hungry. So they've been doing some things, and now she's perfect again. He's like, our baby is fixed. It's fine. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, that was way off topic, but
oh, no issue.
Joanna.
Yeah.
You had said you had some questions, and I'm interested to hear there. So
yeah. I would like generally be interested in is for you, faith is really important, and like faith in God and everything. So like religion, church, and is it like, because I grew up differently, so I don't know how, like, is it for you, is it something that plays into your like health / fitness part, or is it a complete separate part of your life? Because both things make sense to me, so I just don't know.
So I wouldn't say it plays into the fitness aspect of it as much. Honestly, obviously I want to glorify God with my body and my actions, so I want to make sure I have a healthy body. It played a huge role in recovering from my eating disorder for me, and I understand people are different, and with my faith, I'm not gonna like judge other people or like say, well, you're like, or like look down on them because they view differently. Like if I don't agree with someone or their beliefs, which I don't with a lot of people, like I'm not gonna treat them any differently or rudely, whatever. So like people think, oh well, I'm a stuck up snob because, you know, I think my faith is, you know, whatever. But it did play a huge role in how I recovered, and I truly think that I wouldn't have recovered unless I had that faith, because like it took me hitting rock bottom and then like crying out to the Lord and just being like, I cannot get out of this without you. Like he was what brought me out of it. And I specifically remember that moment when it happened too, when I was just like, I have nothing else. I can go no farther but up. And so he is what got me through and the recovery, just having kind of, it's like we talk about having control and giving up control, and literally it's like both. It's like you have to, for me, I had to give up the control and realize that me being in control was going to kill me basically. And I had to just let it go and give it up to God for him to take control of my life and him to lead me that way. So that's how I recover. But then but also like taking control of your life, you know? So I feel like it's both ways, you know, having to take control of, when you feel so out of control, which is also the way I felt in my eating disorder, and taking back the control. So I don't know how to describe it, but it's like both in control and out of control, giving up, but also taking control. So all that to say to answer your question, it is intertwined, because he is the Lord of my life, and he is, you know, the main thing in my life. And I want my actions to glorify him and get me closer to him. So he is a part of everything. But in terms of fitness, it's not like he's a part of that. I mean, like I said, I want to make sure I'm aligning with my beliefs and with, you know, God, but I don't do it. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. The fitness isn't intertwined as much as it was crucial with my eating disorder to rely on him. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think as humans, we just need something to, like something spiritually to clinch on. And for some people, like I know, like say Melissa are just like really calling it like the universe. Whether it's religion and you like specifically have one god or several gods, it's just we need something to clinch on, and I feel like especially now, like during quarantine, I noticed for myself, like just letting go and just like surrendering to something, whatever or whoever it is, it's just really, really calming and giving you a lot of strength. So I totally get that.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Just because like, because with my belief, I know that God has a plan through all of this. I don't know what, and that's like with most, what Christians will tell you, like, we know that the Lord is working through it. We know he has a plan. We don't know what it is. We might never know what it is. But he is. So it's like through all of this, I don't know why the world is going crazy or why the world turned upside down and why we have this pandemic. And a lot of times, I'll be honest, it's hard to be like, but why? I don't understand, God, why you would do that. I don't agree with you, God. Why would you do that and kill all these, like, people are dying? How is that good? It's not good. How is that working towards your plan? I don't know, but I know that it is. And I just have to choose, like you said, to let go and trust that it is. So I might never know why we like that with my eating disorder. I'm like, actually, I can see that. Like, I truly believe, like I said, like you had mentioned earlier, like I believe that my eating disorder and going through that really did shape who I am. And I wouldn't trade that, or I wouldn't, people like, would you go back and like not go through it? I'm like, no, I would go through it because it grew me in so many ways, like spiritually, physically, mentally, everything. I learned so much, and now I have that part of me to turn around and take and serve others and help other people, which is what I tried to do and am still trying to do. So I know that God did have a plan for that. So I went through something horrible and I would never wish it on anybody, and it sucked and I hated it. Well, in the moment I hated it, loved it, whatever, but like, you know, it was the hardest thing ever. But I know, looking back now, I can see that God was working through that, and he did have a plan for me, and he has a plan to use that for other people as well. So yeah, where was I going with that? Yes, he is working. And whether if it's like, yeah, Lexi, and whenever they say the universe, I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking God. So yeah, whatever it is, it's like, you have to let go and trust, that he is working, and we may not see what it is, but it definitely is really calming. And so that's why when it's like, if I just get anxious or worried, I'll try to think of scripture. I'll try to go back and read some of the books or whatever. And it usually really helps, which I've had a lot of time to do. So
yeah, true.
You know, people like, I don't have time to, one of the big things that Christians struggle with is like, I don't have time to read, I don't have time to pray. And it's like, you can't really use that excuse anymore. Because you really do. You really do. So
yeah,
anyway.
It's something, I read this quote somewhere on Instagram, I guess. Like, if you don't do what you always said you want to do now, because your excuse always was you have no time, then you have no time was not the right excuse to use.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I see that. And
I just have to say, I was totally laughing because, like, when you were phrasing that, like, do you wish you'd never gone through your eating disorder? Absolutely not. Like, I've literally said that, those exact words. Like, it was the worst thing that was ever happened to me, but I would never trade it for the world. Like, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, but it made me who I am, and I would go through it again in a heartbeat to be where I am today. And like, I don't know, I just love that. And like, I'm with Lexi and Melissa, where I just kind of like have really had to work on surrendering to the universe, because I'm also like, I'm a 6 wing 5. And 5s, I will be the first to admit, that wing comes in for me where I'm just very like stone cold, like this is what's happening, and like I'm just gonna sit here and pretend that science is the only thing that exists, and blah blah blah. And like, Lexi and Melissa have really helped me open my heart to be like, the universe does have a plan. There is something at play here to where things will work out, and you just have to kind of believe in that sort of a thing. And so I love that. I love the way that you phrased that. Was beautiful. So yeah.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I had a thought and it went away. If it pops back up, I'll let y'all know.
Also, like with the experiences. I'm actually glad I made the experience myself. I think I would have been a horrible sister to my sister if she has been through something like that. Like, I genuinely don't know how she managed to
Yeah.
like she did, and she's amazing. Like, I love her so much. And yeah, so actually she was always my role model at some point, because obviously she's younger than me, but she had so many things that, like, we spoke about motivation earlier, and she was one of my biggest motivations, because I saw her traveling. I saw her like just going out with her friends, having fun, and just like everything I wasn't able to do because I was stuck in my eating disorder.
Yeah.
This is a huge motivator. And yeah, I mean, you have even more siblings, which is amazing.
Yeah,
I would love to have that. They are so cute.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly in the same boat as you, because like, yeah, I looked up to Emily, which is one I'm living with, which is the one that is pregnant or has a baby. She's not pregnant. So I've been saying she's pregnant for 9 months. I gotta change that. Yeah, I looked up to her because she went and studied abroad. She went to Austria, and then she went to Spain, and then she went to Alaska, which is where she got pregnant. But she just was like very independent, always traveling. She had a good relationship with her body and exercise. Like, I just like, I want to be her. Like, but then it was hurtful also, because it was like, to her and me, but like, she basically took the role of being the older sister, because she was bigger than me anyway. Like, she's 5'11", like she's huge. And her body type is different than mine. So she's just a bigger, like not fat, but just like bigger boned, where I was always like, she's more curvy. That's the word, curvy. She got the good hips and the small waist. And I'm just kind of like and so she kind of took the role of being the bigger, older sister, because she was the one that had her life together and that like could be relied on. Whereas me was over there, off struggling really bad, and I couldn't be relied on. And I was just very much in my eating disorder. So she definitely was the one that I was like, basically, you're the older sister. And I came to her later and just was like crying. When I was finally doing so much better, I was just like, listen, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for you, and that you basically had to be me, and that you didn't have an older sister because I was too selfish to be that. And I was all about me. And I'm sorry that you missed out on that. And I'm so sorry that you've been that way. And I want to be your older sister again. So that was good. And then she got pregnant. And so it's kind of like, okay, fine. Which, whether or not we had a great relationship, food out of the question, and she gets pregnant first, doesn't just because I'm older doesn't mean that I had to go get married and pregnant first or anything. But it was definitely hard these last few months, because, and that's what I've also just emotionally been struggling with, just that a lot of, because of what she did, because it was a mistake. Like, it was totally a mistake. And it was very hard for everybody, especially my parents, being very conservative Christians. You can imagine not being married, not even having a boyfriend, getting pregnant was like, what? Not a good thing. Of course, now we are all loving, and there's a huge blessing, but it was just like, because of her actions, which I can relate to, your actions that you do don't just affect you, they affect everyone. So my eating disorder affected my entire family. But because of that, like, I don't have the privilege of being her roommate without, a boy being in the house, without a baby, and like, just like being a bridesmaid, and first of this and first of that are all taken away because of choices. And so it's just, it's been crazy. It's been very emotional, but definitely a lot of growing process. And I almost feel like being able to give back and help her through this, because she helped me and she was older sister, but now I get to be like, all right, I'm going to help you in your time of need. I'm going to help with the baby. I'm here for you now, because my life is, I wouldn't say my life is together, because everyone's life is crazy all the time, but
especially right now,
I'm not struggling like I was to where I couldn't help you, but so now I can. But anyway, that was that rant or that little spiel.
Just guilt. Even now I still feel guilty for like my family and my sibling, my siblings, which is my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something you need to deal with, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean, we're all young, so there's a lot of time.
I'm not young. I'm 24. Ugh.
I mean, that's young.
That's young.
You're not close to 30.
I know, but
I always get in this trap where I'm like, oh, I've wasted my life. I haven't done enough. And then I'm like, bitch, you're 18. Like, shut
you are
up.
so young. Oh my gosh. Now I feel older. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was in the gym like when the wind gyms were still open, and I was like talking with two of my like, I don't know, fitness friends, whatever, in the gym, and they are so cute. And one is 28, the other is 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I feel so bad because I like took 2 months off of uni, and I don't know, like, I know it was the right thing to do because I was like totally overstressed, and now I'm like fine again, but I just needed this break.
Yeah.
And they were like, Johanna, you're like 20, so why, like, there's no need to be concerned about like getting your degree at like 25, 26, 27, 28, whatever. It just doesn't matter. Health is so much more important, which is also like part of the reasons why we all love our sports and everything, right? Because they are like part of having this balance between. So.
And I feel like we're all very career driven, motivated people. So it's good to have that outlet and that athletic thing.
I'm coming. Locked the wrong door for my sister. I'm so sorry. I got one. I'm so sorry. And your stuff is melting. Can you bring it inside? Yes, thank you. Sorry, we have 2 padlocks on our door, and the key only unlocks one of them. Sorry, and I locked the wrong one.
Oh man.
Sorry, I'm listening now, Mia. Okay.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah. Joanna, did you have any more like?
Do I have? No, I mean, we talked about so many things. I really enjoyed it.
I know, yeah, we got a lot of good.
Yeah.
Here, which is awesome.
Great to see, like, especially for me, it's just amazing to see like having like people like literally on the other side of the globe, and it's just we are all individuals. We are all different, obviously, and this is great because it would be like we need to be individuals, but on the other hand, we all have like stories to share and similarities and everything, and it's just crazy to see like we didn't even grow up in the same country, and it's just like a very similar story. And it's really inspiring for like anyone, whoever wants to watch this, listen to it, whatever. And because there are so many things that you can learn from like our conversation or like just our platforms, whatever, just that giving up is not an option, I guess, because just it's at no point it's going to bring you like bring you somewhere. So just don't give up and just be yourself, like your true self. I think that's also really, really important. Don't apologize for who you are, like all of this. It's just I wish more women or girls even would I don't know, would get in touch with those topics and just reflect before they get trapped into something.
And that's why I love what we all do, because it really does bring all of those people together and be like, hey, you're not alone. Like, there's a ton of other people out there that are just like you and that want to help. And so that's why I love it.
And what's all of us, like why we all chose to work with Lexi and like now Melissa and Alignment Athletics, it's just big because those two, like both of them are really, they are amazing people, and they are also just like absolutely crushing their mission of like spreading the, like, I don't want to say truth because there is essentially no truth, but like the more health-based fitness, more I get
what you're saying.
Love that. No mindset.
Yes.
Well, it's always so
you mentioned you have a YouTube channel, but I know you also have an Instagram and stuff, so if you want to just plug yourself, go right on ahead.
Did you see me? Sorry, you were fuzzy.
Yeah.
Stephanie? Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel and
Baking.
yes. It's Steph Marie or Stephanie Frank. I think I changed it. I don't know. It's either, I think it's Stephanie. What is it? Is it Stephanie Marie Frank?
Yeah, it's Steph Marie Frank.
Yeah, Stephanie Frank or Steph Marie Frank. I've left them up. So if anyone is listening to this and they are struggling with recovery and eating sort of stuff, I left up all the videos that I made, which, oh my gosh, I look back now and I cringe. I'm like, nope, can't, like, oh, I shudder. Like they're so cringy because I'm looking at myself. I'm like, no, stop. Mm-hmm. But apparently, and I still get messages, which is really sweet, from people that are like, oh my gosh, you've changed my life. I love your videos. So I'm like, I'm so glad you love them because, but I guess it's cool just to see how far I've come looking back at some of the first ones just to now, mindset and physically. So anyway, those are still up for people. They can watch them whenever they need to. And I'm like, Mia mentioned earlier that I am trying to transition from eating disorder recovery content to just lifestyle, fitness, and family stuff. So, and I've been kind of in a rut just because, I mean, I'm not doing anything. Like people like, just make more vlogs. I'm like, of what? I sit on the couch and I work out and I eat and I sleep. Like that's what I do. And it's not very exciting. So I hopefully soon will get back into that. And then I have an Instagram. It's steph.marie95. And it's just a regular Instagram. It's not like a fitness Instagram, but I did have a recovery one, but I deleted it because it was just kind of kept bringing me back down. But it's just like me, my family, my life, my little niece. So yeah, that's my stuff.
Lovely. Yeah. Very nice. Mia, do you want to say something so I can stop the recording?
Yeah, I got you, fam. Well, thank you everyone who listened. Very happy to have had Steph on this episode. Thank you so much. You said so many amazing things that I think people are going to get a lot from, and I think this was a wonderful first/second episode, since we don't know what we're doing or which one's going up first, but this one probably will, so we'll see.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks for asking. It was so fun, and I'm already encouraged just talking to you guys so much. It was really great.
Oh yeah,
Hear everybody.
I'm so excited. Okay, wait.